Hello all, Brian Avery here. Thank you for coming to our next episode in our series here in sunny Hertfordshire. Well, it has been sunny and it is still sunny, it's just that the sun is going down behind the trees, behind where Muriel is, who's our official photographer today. Hello Muriel. So today I've just done another video which you should just have seen just before this if you have been doing this consecutively, sorry. Is literally next door is the swarm that I've literally just collected. Okay, it is still there. I'm waiting until it's dark and then I'm going to sort of bring it here into the apiary. But what I want to do, as I mentioned towards the end of that video, I'm not sure if this colony here, this is the one where the swarm originally happened. The queen, which is in this side, she swarmed from this colony. Whether or not there is actually any queen in here. The reason I'm saying that, even though 2 weeks ago when we actually inspected this, we actually saw the queen emerging, so while we were actually doing the video, but whether she sort of got lost or she got eaten or something happened, I suspect there is no queen in here. The reason why is going back to the broodminder sensors. So if I open this up, the broodminder sensor here, I will just move this out of the way. This monitors the temperature and the humidity within this colony. Now the other thing is the temperatures in here normally, and I put down in Fahrenheit as well, normally this should be at about 33 to 37 degrees centigrade. I believe that's into the 90s in Fahrenheit terms to have healthy brood. Now I suspect, because the temperatures in here have been struggling to get over 20 degrees, so that's just sort of late 70s, early 80s in Fahrenheit terms, and I think that's because there is no queen in here, they're not laying. But also one of the things I've noticed over the last 2 to 3 weeks, the size of this colony has been getting smaller and smaller and smaller just when I open up like I have right now and look through the board, the clear crown board. So we can see there are not many frames in here. If this is where it was, even if there was a queen, I would be reducing it just like I have last week on this colony, and treat it effectively like a nuke with probably about 6 frames. Get that population together so they can keep the warmth together. But if there's no queen, it's still no point. Now, because of we've just had the swarm next door, one of the things I might consider, if there is no queen in here, is do I try and integrate the two and merge the two sort of colonies together, because there is a queen in that. We've seen her today, and go back to a previous video, she's a nice black, probably a Carnica queen, or at least got lots of Carnica genes in her, because she's a very black dark queen. She is mated by the looks of it, so all I want to do now is just quickly go through this, and all I want to check is there any sign of a queen. Now that could just be eggs laying, but I do want to try and spot her either way. The main reason is because what do I do with the other colony? But I don't have any more hives in here. I've only got the 3, in which case I will contact some of the other our local beekeeping association and just say, anybody wants some bees, and I will give them away to another beekeeper so they can look after them better. So first of all, what I'm going to do is remove some of these frames which are not being used at all. If nothing else, I can put them into the little nucleus. See, nothing happening in these. Nothing's been worked on those for almost 2 weeks. I'm going to move the strips because I did have varroa, but we've only 2 weeks into 6 weeks of treatment for that. Again here, lots of nectar in there. You can see the glistening in there and on that side, but nothing really been worked. So all I want to do is I'm going to put all of these aside. As I said, I will want to consolidate. Even if I put the other swarm in, I probably will have it. I won't have it with the full number of frames in here. I'm just going to put them on the other side of this board. Remove the broodminder sensor. Again, nothing really been worked on here. This is all signs of, again, there's no queen in here. They've got no incentive to do much work. There's plenty of stalls because they were left over before. Again, this is another sign there's no queen. This was all full of brood a few weeks ago, and the broods all come out, and they've just backfilled it with the nectar because it's a good nectar flow. And I did have the syrup obviously on top to try and help them to do the building of those frames, which are just not building at all. That's potentially what a sign of what would have been a queen cup. I don't really want that if I'm going to be introducing another queen. So I've got 1, 2, 4, 5. So because of the frames that I have got in the nuke with the swarm, I probably just transfer some of those rather than trying to take these out. Again, here I will leave this frame because you can see here lots of pollen, but again everything's been backfilled with honey. Now if it is a queen, she's probably going, I've got nowhere to lay, but I suspect it's more that there just isn't a queen here at all. So I would keep that because of the fact, let's tidy this up, I don't want that to be potentially into a we'll put that in there because of the pollen in there. Because if there is any brood with any new queen that comes in here, I would definitely want them to benefit from having some. Another one where they've been working it, you can see a bit of pollen in there, and look, definitely some glistening for the nectar. There's some capping of some nectar, but again you can see they've absolutely stopped building any more of the comb out. They have no incentive. I'd be shocked if there was a queen in here now. So take those out, put them back afterwards, particularly if I'm putting in the colony. And then this is the only other frame which could possibly be, and again hardly anything in there. So but we do have some crystallizing honey in there, so it's probably from some oilseed rape. I think in America you call it canola. So that's a brassica family. It's a nice heavy frame, but not fully worked, and absolutely nothing there. And now these other 2 frames, again, they're just empty, blank. You can see they literally, and this was last week, we noticed that they were literally just starting to cover the cells with some wax, but nothing in there. So no queen in here, unless we're amazed in this one frame here. Nope, she's not in here. There is no queen in this. Now I've got in the nucleus, which I will bring over, there's so few bees in here now. There's no even attempt to say, well, try and do any form of proper integration with newspaper or anything like that. There's just no point in doing that. What we will do is just, I'll go over, I'll go get that nuke right now, and I'm going to transfer them in here in a moment. So what you can see here is now we move those frames. That is literally the number of bees. It's a handful, it's a cup in total of bees, and no wonder the temperature in this colony was going down as low, pretty much tracking the ambient temperature outside, just ever so slightly, a degree or so warmer. So yeah, there's no point doing anything here. Let's get the other bees in here. So over here we've got the nuke. You can see the bees are coming out. We literally just transfer over. I'll pass the hive to move over the fence just behind her where she is with the camera. So all I'm going to do now is take this off. I'm just holding this because it's probably not very well balanced on the ladder. Not the best thing to do. The transfers. And then move it over. Now, if you remember, those who followed the back in July the 17th, when I transferred the bees originally from this one into this exact colony, or into this exact hive, I actually just making sure there's no queen, but yeah, I actually dropped this nuke. So I'm going to try not to do the same this time. So all I'm going to do here is first of all put it in. I want to try and keep an eye again to see if I can find the queen, because if I've got her in there I can put the rest of the nuke next to the hive. Do that out. Quick look. The cluster over here, just gentle blowing is regularly enough reason why bees will move. Let's trying to see, there's a motion down here. Don't see any queen there. I can see they're already having a go, looking at the honey and nectar that's in here. So I don't see any queen in there. I will then, I'm probably going to start from the other side. The reason I'm going to do that is this is one with no comb on it, so I will, oh dear, no, this is definitely not one I want to use. Whoops. I'll just shake them off. This is those who've been following my last few episodes, I obviously made a few of these frames without putting the tacks on them, the nails, which really wasn't clever. But as a consequence, I've got these frames. But don't worry, I'll fix that one. But I do have the spare frame, so I'm not bothered about doing anything there. But hopefully the queen wasn't on there. Couldn't really check. The other advantage of doing this and allowing bees to walk in, if you ever collect a swarm or have an old colony, is that just the live bees will move through. So obviously this is a new swarm, so shouldn't be any. Just gently blowing again to see if there's any sign of the queen. Like there's areas where there's quite a lot of bees, might indicate that there's a queen. But no, I don't see any queen in this one. But we definitely saw her, as I said, with a very dark body. Probably want to get rid of these cells. I have at the bottom here, which are little queen cups. Just there, right in the bottom left there. Just here. So I just want to destroy these. There and there. So this is one of the original frames, one of only two frames I gave Pete at Hertfordshire Bee Supplies originally, which had well, wax foundation, completely wax foundation. All the others were the wax coated black plastic. Now, make sure that's it. Go over again. No. No. No, it's a dark bee, but she's not a queen. So I don't like banging nucleuses if I haven't seen the queen. So what I want to do, put this here, and I'll see one of two things happen. Either the bees in the hive will try and go into the nucleus, which implies the queen is in here, or the bees in the nucleus will go into the hive, which implies the queen is in the hive. So they do have to wait a few minutes. So also I'm just going to have a quick, so for hiding the screen, I just want to, or the camera, just want to see if I can see. And do that there. I don't see any queen in here, so I don't mind knocking these bees. So I just want to make a really good sure she's not in the corners. No. No sign of a queen in here. You have to be a bit careful. Those mesmores and most poly hives and nukes are quite strong, but I wouldn't want to be too officious with any banging. just going to do that and they'll hopefully waft up, because these bees are over here. They're done. Just having a look. So no obvious sign of bees going one direction or the other at the moment. So we want to come and have a quick look. Just do some filming. And if we look into the you can see no obvious signs of bees coming into the nuke yet, or going out of the nuke into the hive. So this is, I'm going to leave it for a couple of minutes and then we'll come back and refilm. Okay. So what you can see here, does now appear to be a stream of bees going from the nuke in that corner there, going down into the hive. Now that, I'm hoping, is implying that because the queen is actually in there, and I'm starting to see bees from over here gradually moving across, but actually now they've turned around and gone back again in the opposite direction. But so I'm hoping that in a couple of minutes, or maybe a bit more than that, 5 minutes or so, we will get a better understanding of what is in here. But this is what an exciting thing this is, isn't it? Today, I think we're going to think of this this queen, we're going to have to call Elizabeth, I think, because of it being Queen Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee, 70 years on the throne. I doubt this queen will last quite so long on her throne, but I think we're going to have to call this one Elizabeth. We've got Queenie, who's the original one over there, and the one which hopefully we'll have a look at tomorrow when we inspect this hive will be, we're going to call Heidi, suggested because obviously these are made by Hyde Hives, these hives, and therefore somebody said, why don't we call one Heidi, H-Y-D-E-E. So we're going to have Queenie, Elizabeth and Heidi. Okay, they're definitely going down, which implies that there is no queen here. I'm just going to blow this bundle, this cluster, to make sure there's no. As you know, I don't use smoke as a general rule. If we got bees that are relatively docile, why bother doing it? There we are. Having a look there. Those are all just worker bees. As you saw in the previous video when we were collecting the swarm, I saw one drone, so he was obviously rather attached to her. If none of the other males are, they would have stayed with the new, or shall we say, the new emerging queen, which is probably what would have happened, because obviously they would have had some duties to do when she emerged, because she would have required mating. So one decided to follow, but didn't see any others. Okay, I'm just going to bang these. There we are. Most of them are out now. So I'm going to leave that there by the entrance as well. I'm going to just manipulate all of these and get the. So come here again, Moo, and have a look in the corner there. We've got a lot of bees over there. What I want to do is obviously do not want to close this on top of them. That's going to kill a lot of bees. We obviously do not want to do that. So what I want to do is put some frames in here. They will hopefully migrate over to the new frames, and then I will brush them out the way before I put any crown boards on. They will fly around, but while there's still a bit of light, that's fine, because they will be able to go out or go back in through the main entrance. So I'm going to quickly just do some work on all of those right now. Okay, and because not that I've had a chance to have a look, but because I know the other two colonies have had signs of varroa, I am going to put these in, and that's just going to be a bit of a precautionary bit as well, because what we don't know is whether or not these do. But what I'm not going to do, because this isn't the largest swarm, I'm not going to have this back to a full size super, if I can call it that, in inverted commas. Obviously we don't have supers in a long hive. So what I'm going to do is restrict the number of frames. So the reason why these are getting a bit squashed, I'm just giving them a chance to sort of get out. I'm purposely putting a little bit of squashing the space, so they're all getting out and moving along the frame right now, but I'm purposely trying to do that so that they do actually get out of the way. I don't want to squash them too much, or at all really. So I'm just doing this rather gently because they've been in that corner. What we will find is once I put the frames back is hopefully I'll get a migration of these bees into the hive again, and I won't look at these until next week at the earliest, after we've done this. So yeah, that's got a fair bit. What I do want to do is make sure that there are some frame or two which don't really have stores but aren't too reliant on giving them something to work on. So I do want her to be able to lay quite quickly, but I think the closest I've got is these frames here, which I do need to draw because the others, the previous colony, which was obviously dwindled out, hasn't really had much chance. That they just backfilled as the brood emerged. So there's not much there for the queen to actually lay. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll put one more with that there, and I'm going to remove this frame here because again it's just full of stores, and there's no point really putting that in at this moment. But actually that does have quite a lot of pollen on it, so maybe I'll do it the other way around. Put that one in. I don't want to have too many frames, as I said, so I'd rather have it smaller and get them stuff to work on, and then next week give him some stuff, some more frames at that point. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 7 frames here. So it's larger than the average nuke, but smaller than a full frame, which is 10 or 11 depending on which configuration you have. Put that there as well. There we are. So I am going to put the brood minder on top, and I'm going to just gently brush in here. If you want to come here, move. Just going to literally very gently brush them out onto the frames. As some start going down, like sheep in some ways, others will hopefully follow. So what I want to quickly show you, look at them. Oh, move out. But there's a huge number of bees there, just under there. So I'm going to have to just move some of them, because that's probably where the queen could be. Ready? Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to do is just gently bring some of these, because if the queen is here, it would explain why a whole lot of these bees are coming by the hinge. So. Just going very gently. Oh, found that drone again, or one other drone. They've been a bit awkward, these bees, the swarm. So I think what I'm going to do is now use something to just wedge this open a bit. There's my frame that I didn't make very well. Put that there. Just gently bring us to, with the idea that they will come back down into the dark. Like that. Just going to leave them like that. Put the crown board most of the way. The reason I'm doing that is I'm leaving it at the end, so the bees aren't being encouraged to come out, but what they are doing is they've got the entrance that they can go back into where the frames are. That's open to them, so hopefully they will come down, particularly if the queen is in here. Then she will be able to, before the pheromones. I will come out. I won't film in probably about half an hour, just as it's getting a bit too dark, which is probably why I won't film, and just see whether there is many in there, and hopefully just encourage the last few to come in. So, okay, so here we are, second swarm that we've done in literally just over a month's time. First one being the Good Friday Easter swarm, and this being the Platinum Jubilee swarm. So it's been an interesting, unexpected event. I was hoping to go through the hives today or tomorrow. I won't have to go through this again when I do have a look at both these. But if you have enjoyed today's rather eventful, still not completely finished swarm here, and collecting, and then now putting the new swarm into its new hive, a hive which I will say the colony failed after the swarm that actually happened just over a month ago. Just never really got queen properly again. So if you've enjoyed it, please do subscribe and ring that bell if you wish to be notified of future videos that we do, and also please thumbs up. Thank you, and enjoy beekeeping, and remember, it's all about the bees.